Hey everybody, welcome back. It is a new year. It's 2024. What in the world? My name is Fran, and I am one of the co-hosts here at Rambling Through Everyday Life. You are going to enjoy this conversation. We spend a little bit of time reminiscing over Christmas and the holidays, and then of course, we are moving into the new year, discussing our goals, our dreams, our hopes, our desires that we have for 2024. And we want you to come along with us as we discuss this. So thanks for listening. We love y'all so much. Can you believe it? 2024. I don't know, but I'm very excited and I'm very hopeful for this new year. All right, enjoy the show. We love you so much. Happy 2024. Angela Snyder, happy 2024.
That sounds crazy.
Do you remember when it turned 2000?
Oh, we thought the world would stop.
And then, like, just how to say all these numbers. Is it 2024? Like, we just didn't know what we were doing. And now we just, like, comfortably say, happy 2024.
We're in the 20s.
Good gosh alive. Okay, so it's a new year. We've made it through the holidays. You and I had a brief conversation coming in about, well, we didn't exactly say this, but this is what I'm thinking. You know, like, we love the week so much in between Christmas and New Year. But as much as I love this week, I don't want to do this kind of thing all the time. I'm really almost very close to being ready for the structure and the routine and the busyness of just regular life.
But not yet.
I mean, we're really close, but it's just kind of weird. I love it, but it's weird.
Have you seen that meme that's like, I don't know what day it is, I'm just full of cheese?
Cheese and bread.
And bread.
Chocolate.
That's how I feel.
100%.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's a good time to get on the couch.
Yeah.
Get under the covers.
Yeah.
Watch a show. Read a book.
What are you watching, Angela? Do you want to talk about what you're watching?
We're
not prepared for this kind of conversation.
We're watching just some weird, random, no-brainer kind of things that are rotting my brain cells.
Well, that's we do this time of year.
I'm having weird dreams, and I'm blaming this reality TV garbage that we are consuming in my house.
Did I tell you that I finished The Crown?
No. Oh, yes.
I finished it. Okay. Well, I did. If you haven't watched The Crown, oh my gosh, it may be my all-time favorite series ever.
You have been really invested.
Oh, it is just beautifully done. And I will always say this, that is not the kind of thing that I would have been drawn to just by, like, I don't know. I just wouldn't have been drawn to it. But anyway, I got sucked in because it's beautifully done. It's beautiful writing. But the very last episode of the final season, and they take you, by this time you are in the like royal family now as we know it, William and Kate, and you know their mom has died.
Do you like the actors?
Oh, I love them.
Are they spot on?
Oh, they're so great. But the final episode of the entire series, I didn't want to watch because I knew I was going to cry, and I did.
Wow.
I cried. It was that good. It's so good. But anyway, I finished that, and then I'm almost done with Virgin River. Did you ever watch that?
Well, we are like 2 or 3 seasons behind. It kind of slowed down, and I've heard to jump back in. It picks back up.
I'm almost done with it. But
do you recommend it?
I do recommend it. It's some moments I'm like, God, this is so cheesy. But then
we kind of need that, though.
Yeah, you kind of need some of that. But anyway, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, I liked it. Apparently, I'm watching all of it. So.
Well, okay, so today is January 1st, but our last recording was before Christmas.
Yeah.
So we need to talk about Christmas just for a minute.
I have no recollection of it whatsoever.
Was it a good Christmas?
Yeah, here's the reality, y'all. If you've got, well, whatever age your children are, you're going to either resonate with this or be like, oh my gosh, I can't ever imagine this happening. Our kids, let me just pause right here and say, if little people are listening, let's just not. I doubt that they are, but.
If you're in the car and someone's in the back seat, turn us off.
Yeah, just come back to it when they're not. Okay. So I'm glad I remembered to say that. Yeah, our kids, like, they know everything they're getting. Everything.
Because the packages get smaller and more expensive.
More expensive. They've picked it out. I took the time to even wrap it. And we're supposed to act like we're surprised by what we got. But it's fun. I did say at the end of Christmas, I was like, you know what? I really wish we would have taken all this money and gone somewhere.
Yeah.
because that's just what I'd rather do. But the reality of that is, let me just go ahead and say this. We have a dog that's 15 years old, 15 and a half
Oh, wow.
years old, and I can't leave her. The stress and the anxiety on her, I can't board her anywhere. I'm not doing that to her. So that's part of the reason why I'm real careful about our comings and goings. But anyway, okay. But it was great. I love it. But, you know, like we say this every year, you blink and it's over. Like I love the week leading up to Christmas, and then I just want it to go so super slow, and it doesn't. And then you're like, oh my God, it's Christmas Day. Did it have the feelings I wanted it to have? Did it look like I thought it was going to look? We create this thing in our heads as mamas that it's supposed to look a certain way, and it doesn't. And, you know, I don't know. But it was great. I love it. I just think as you get older and your kids get older, it changes.
Hold the expectations very loosely.
And
Or not at all. Just have no expectations.
Yeah, really, for real. But social media does that to us. It makes us think that we're all supposed to be in matching pajamas doing certain things, or, you know, and you're just like, we didn't.
And if y'all do that, more power to you. We dug out pajamas from years past. Nobody matched. It was fine.
Yeah,
Cole had to take old ones from, I think he had mine. He had to have a medium because he's too big.
Yeah, listen, if I made my 27, 26, and 22-year-old, if I made them put on matching pajamas.
Can you imagine?
Oh, well, I know not to ask, but we've just never done that.
What value would that add? Like,
None.
if it's adding value, great, do it.
Well, I'd be mad.
But don't torture your people if
Right.
it's torture to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were just, I mean, they're boys, and I just never got on that bandwagon. But
And
anyway,
that is okay.
It is okay.
That is okay. When do you take it all down?
It's
Has yours
down.
come down?
It's already down.
My tree stays up till New Year's Eve. and
Oh, I
then
thought you were going to say something like
Easter.
February 1st.
One year, I can remember my grandmother, because her living room was closed off from the house the rest of the year because it didn't have central heat. So to save money, you know, certain rooms were just closed off. But my whole family growing up would spend the night Christmas Eve at my grandparents' house. The cousins, we would have fried oysters on Christmas Eve. My mother would take us to Mass, and then we'd come back and make cookies, and we'd all go to bed, pallets on the floor, just you name it. And we'd wake up and Santa had come for all of us in my grandparents' living room. Well, then, you know, after that meal, it's closed off until Easter.
Yeah.
And I can remember one year, it was like February or March, and one of us went in there, we were playing hide and seek, and the Christmas tree was still up, and there's still tinsel. It's like everybody just closed which I appreciate deeply now at the age that I am as the mama. It's like they were just like, close the door, we will deal with this another day.
I know. It's just so funny. It's so funny and fun and weird and wonderful. Anyway.
Well, speaking of funny and fun and weird and wonderful, I got some Christmas surprises this year.
Oh, my.
My daughter...
Are we going to talk about because on the last episode, we talked about something...
I don't even remember.
The hair.
Oh, the hair, yes.
You didn't tell us what it was.
Yes, the Dyson Airwrap.
Are you ready to talk about that, or we need to wait a little bit?
We can talk about it a little, but I'm still getting used to it.
Okay, let's wait. Let's wait then.
Okay.
When we have maybe a more complete conversation.
I will say this because this is funny. My husband, bless his heart, did not realize that just because I use the Dyson does not mean that he has to use the Dyson.
Okay.
So, long story short, he took Cole on a hunting trip to Texas leading up to Christmas. When I found out he was going somewhere on an adventure, I had to have an adventure. So I took Kaylee and Lydia and Atlas, and we went to Disney for a few days leading up to Christmas. So we come back. We've never traveled that close to Christmas. It's kind of weird. You miss out on some of the anticipation because it all just accelerates.
Yeah,
but
you're like, oh, it's Christmas.
Yes, but it was great. We had a wonderful time. The candlelight processional at Epcot is basically a worship service centered around Jesus and Scripture. I was so caught off guard by that in the best way. It was lovely. But we get home the 23rd. We're tired. We're getting ready for Christmas. The bags are not unpacked from the trip. My Dyson blow dryer is in my suitcase, but my suitcase is in my bedroom. He walks right past it to go to the bathroom and take a shower, but does not register with him, hey, pick up the blow dryer and use it to dry my hair. Instead, unbeknownst to any of us, he uses the Dyson Airwrap to blow dry his hair.
Oh, my word.
There are brush attachments. There's multiple attachments.
I had no idea.
There's a curling iron.
I
There's a
don't have
round
one.
brush. There's a straight brush. But you pop these attachments in. So Kaylee and I are talking about how much we love the Air Wrap, and Carl is sitting on the couch. We have no idea he's even listening, and he goes, "Yeah, I hate that thing. It did a horrible job on my hair."
This is so awesome. Did he know? He had no idea what this thing was.
He is living in man land. He has no idea what it is. He's just mad that he thinks I've replaced the blow dryer with some brush thing that did not do a good job on his hair. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny.
Stay away from it. Another hair dryer he can use.
He has I have a Dyson. I started my Dyson collection years ago with a hair dryer.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay, so he's okay.
He's fine.
Just stay away from the wrap.
Just stay away
We'll
from
come
the
back
Air
to
Wrap.
that in a couple weeks when you have some time to talk about it.
We will.
I do get tickled at people that, like the videos that you see where people are struggling to get their hair wrapped around it. So I can't wait to talk about this.
Kaylee has mastered that part.
Okay, good.
I've yet to try it. I'm
Okay.
sure some comedy will ensue. So stay tuned. Stay tuned
Hang
with
tight,
that.
everyone.
But I had a Christmas where, sometimes you say things around your people and you just forget that you said them and you just don't expect anything from them. And I'm fine with nothing.
Right.
I'm good. If I need something, I generally just go buy it. Well, Kaylee and Cole went to Buff City Soap and bought me Narcissist everything. I love to smell like a narcissist. That is so funny that they named the best smelling product they sell Narcissist.
Well, considering the day and the time that we live in where there's just a lot of conversation around that word, you're like, should we change it? But I guess not.
Well, when you walk around going, I smell like the best thing ever.
I guess so.
Maybe it should be called egotistical and not narcissist. I don't know. But they had filled my stocking with some narcissist things. And then Kaylee's friends in college had a Jellycat party. Do you know what Jellycats are?
I have no idea.
They're these cute little stuffed animals. They love these little Squishmallows and Jellycats. I'm sure somebody listening maybe knows. I had no idea.
All I'm thinking of is Smelly Cat.
Yes,
from Friends.
yes.
Okay.
So I see this post she did where they had exchanged Jellycats. They all bought one for each other, like they drew names. So she bought me a Jellycat avocado.
Oh, yes. Okay.
It is the cutest little thing, but I've had this fear of avocados.
Is it a stuffed animal?
It's a stuffed animal.
What do you do with it?
You just look at it and hug it, and it's cute.
Okay. Where is it right now, Angela?
It is beside my bed
Okay.
on my nightstand. His name is Antonio the avocado.
Okay.
I don't
think
know.
That's precious.
It's a healthy fat that we're all supposed to be eating. Avocados are just scary to me. I don't know if
love
it's
them.
texture. I will eat a guacamole bowl. I will. But just the idea of buying an avocado and doing something with it.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
I'm not there yet.
But I want avocado toast, but I have no idea what I'm doing.
Exactly. So I got that. And then ACC Church, where Kaylee goes and we watch online. And that's the preacher that recommended the Monk Fool book that we love so much. When they baptize people, they put them in a black T-shirt that says Jesus Wins. Kaylee bought me a Jesus Wins shirt.
I love that.
It is so great.
I really do. That's a very thoughtful gift. That's like a Susie Oliver kind of thinking.
Yes.
When she talks about buying thoughtful gifts for people.
And it's your word of the year, which we'll talk about later. Stand by for that. And then the last thing I want to say is I had just casually said to Kaylee, I need something to do to keep my hands busy that gets me off my phone. I don't want to go back to Candy Crush. I don't want to just unwind with my phone, get me off technology, but I need something else to do.
I cannot wait to hear what's coming out of your mouth because I can't wait to tell you what I'm thinking. The first thing that popped into my head.
What popped into your head?
I want to hear your answer first.
She bought me a crochet kit.
I swear that's what popped into my head.
I'm going to learn how to crochet.
Okay, not to be Debbie Downer, but I'll believe it when I see it.
I have done a chain stitch.
For real?
For real. I'm working on a granny square. You just hang on, friend. I don't know who I'm becoming in 2024, but I'm a narcissist who loves Jesus and crochet and avocados.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So it was the most fun because my kids, before they even, there can be a convertible car in the middle of the living room and they will run to their stockings.
Yeah.
They love their stockings, but before they touched anything, they couldn't wait to give me my stocking.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I just thought, what in the world? And then poor Carl, he had a few things, but
yeah, I know.
he's fine.
Well, for real. Everybody's fine.
Carl's fine. So anyway.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I was about to say Happy Christmas, Merry New Year, but might as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
So
we love to talk about, well, let me say this first, too. I think that the new year, I think everybody, I'm just going to say broadly, I think everybody as a whole is considering something for the new year. It's swirling around in your brain to some degree or another. You're thinking about something. And I love the idea of the new year, but I also am very realistic in that every day is a new day. So if you step into a new year feeling a little overwhelmed or behind or unsure of anything that you want to do differently in 2024, you know what? That's totally fine. I don't know, choose February 3rd to like start something new. But every day is a new day. And I don't want to ever, you know, I understand how people can feel a little overwhelmed because you're exhausted coming out of the Christmas season. And then you hit a new year and you're like, oh my God, like, I don't know. Because you're bombarded by so much change and opportunity. And it just can feel like, I'm going to choose nothing.
Well, it can feel like all or nothing.
Right,
You know, like all
exactly.
the gyms will tell you January 1st,
Right.
they are packed.
Right.
And then January 15th, it's
Yeah.
slow again because people quit their resolutions a week or two in. But
Okay, so what is your process for thinking about what do you want to do different in 2024? Do you categorize things? Do you make a list? Do you just say, I'm going to focus on this one thing so that I'm not feeling overwhelmed? How do you go about considering all that there is in front of you in 2024? Because it's a lot for
It is a
both
lot.
of us, for a lot of people. And again, I don't want people to feel overwhelmed and like, I can't do all that.
well, I can tell you what I don't do. I resolve to never make another resolution.
Oh, heck to the
Now,
yes truth.
Do I want to create healthy habits that will become part of my life? Yes. But I've learned in the past, with my personality especially, I can make a list of all the things I'm planning to do. And then as soon as I fall off that wagon, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
So I can remember.
But you'll pick it back up later.
Yeah.
Because I know
Yeah.
that about you. Like even if you're talking about your word of the year, like you may get all fired up about it, and then February gets busy or something, and you just were not as disciplined or thoughtful about whatever it is we're working on. And then it comes back to you later. And I think that's totally good.
I'm not focused sometimes, which incidentally, one of my words was focus. One year, and it might have been the focus year, one year I forgot what my word was.
I know, I remember.
And I have a list now in my notes app of the Bible studies that we've done at the barn. There have been 8 of them. And then of the words that I've had for the year since 15 when I started this. And I think the year that I forgot what my word was, it was focus.
Oh, the irony.
But every year, so the week between Christmas and New Year's that used to be when I would just try to be still, take off work, just sit in my pajamas on the couch in front of the Christmas tree and have those good, long, heart-to-heart conversations with the Lord. That has not been, it hasn't been that focused or that much, I don't know how to say this. but-
Intentional?
Maybe, or just I worked a few days this week. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't had the luxury of just all
Right.
that blank space
Right.
time the
Right.
way I have in years past. But I can remember several weeks ago, and every year I'm like, Lord, you may not even give me a word this coming year, but it would be so fun if you did. And then it's like within, I don't know, not real long, it's so clear to me what my word is. And I'd forgotten last year what my word was.
This
And
is
this
why I
is
don't pick
funny.
one, y'all.
But I always write in my journal. I've got a journal that I have found that I love, and I've ordered my one and started using it for next year. It's Prayerful Planner, if anybody just needs a recommendation. But at the beginning of it, it asks your word of the year, and then why did you choose the word, and a verse of the year to go with it. And last year, looking back in my journal, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember that. It was endurance, and the verse about praying to the God of endurance and encouragement. And when I choose a word, or when the Lord gives me a word, to me, what it is, you know, it means different things for different people. But for me, it's like, let's keep that as like the filter or the thing I need to be focused on with Him or in my conversations with Him in my prayer time. And this year, it was so clear that my word is dependent, because I am such an independent person. I mean, the second it hit my heart, I was like, well, that's from the Lord, and that's what I need to work on. Because if I were to have some kind of crisis where I was dependent on people physically or could not go out and do things in the work world or in my family or whatever, I don't know how I would handle that.
Right.
And that is a pride issue for me that
Right.
I did not even realize I had.
Well, and it's a fine line of, God's given us skills, experience. Like part of that is just like just having the logic to like, this is what I need to be doing. But at the same time, I also know that I need to be dependent upon him. And that's just a tricky spot to live in because it's so easy for us to function out of our own knowledge, our own wisdom, our own experience as we step in and maybe help somebody or just navigating our own life until we can't.
Right.
Then we become dependent upon the Lord. But it's also like, well, that's not how this is supposed to work. It's supposed to be all the time. So I think everybody can relate to this concept of needing to be dependent upon the Lord.
And the thing I love about the verse, because within 5 minutes, like this conversation with the Lord happened quickly because I knew, not heard like audibly, but I knew the word that I was supposed to have. And then one of my favorite verses, it was almost immediately on my heart. Didn't know exactly where it was. I had to Google it to remember the reference. But a lot of the anxiety that I deal with, I've had panic attacks in my past. Anxiety has been a big part of what I've had to heal from and continue to work through. But I think a lot of my anxiety comes from me not being dependent on the Lord and relying on my own strength.
Oh, for sure.
And that feeds straight into my anxiety.
Right.
So Isaiah 26:3 is my verse this year. You will keep the mind that is dependent on you in perfect peace because it rests in you. So if I can just rest my mind there. And this is a continual everyday reset for me.
Oh, sure.
I've ordered the bracelet that has the word dependent on it. That's the closest I'll get to a tattoo for right now.
Right.
We've got you one coming with your word, Jesus.
Yeah. So, yes, you all that don't know or have forgotten, it's very hard for me to pick a word of the year because my personality, I feel, as a 7 on the Enneagram, I feel too bound by a word, and that causes me anxiety. And so I can't choose one word. It just gives me tremendous anxiety. Like, I can't be wrapped up in one word. That's insane to me. So, and listen, there's lots of people that can resonate with you, Angela, and then there's lots of people that resonate with me, or just the anxiety of choosing a word and feeling like, oh, I got to keep up with that. Like, I get it. There's so many, ways about this, and everybody's different, and that's the beauty of it. Yep. But in some of this fun conversation that we've had over the past years, our president here at Union, Dr. Dub, he just didn't even have to think about it. Out of his mouth was, well, you know what your word of the year, Fran, is? And I was like, no, what is it? Thinking, I just told you, I ain't picking one. And he looked right at me and he said, it's Jesus. And I was like, oh.
I love that he knows you so well.
Yeah.
That man has a pastor's heart. He pastors us in ways we didn't even know we needed pastoring. But he does.
So that will always be my word of
so
the year.
now you know that you have a word.
I do. It's Jesus. And it's going to be that every year.
As it should. As it should.
Okay. So I love that. What are some other, I don't want to let's just talk through. No, y'all, if you're listening to this, we're not going to belabor all this because let me pause and say this. We're going to make a separate video after this podcast that we will put on our YouTube page that's going to kind of maybe go into a little bit more detail about some of this. It's not going to be a super long video. So if you're interested in anything we say here, maybe find the YouTube and we'll go into some deeper thoughts about this. Okay, so what are some other things outside of the word of the year? Let's think specifically. I made a list of things or categories of things that I would like to see happen in 2024.
Love it.
But I also am curious, outside of the word of the year, what other things are you thinking about in 2024?
Well, one thing that I do, and I learned this in one of my attorney groups, it's called Lawyer on the Beach. Who does not want to be the lawyer on the beach? But they're trying to teach you that you can have a life outside of your career.
I immediately picture a male lawyer in a suit or a female lawyer in a suit sitting on the beach when you say that.
In a suit with their pants rolled up and their feet in the sand.
With some laptop in front of them or something.
Right. That's a horrible vacation. I don't want that. But what they have taught me that stuck was to take my entire calendar and block off times for rest and play, which is also something that I've talked about on the podcast. But I have gone, and some of these times may or may not happen, but I've just in my mind gone, you know what, I'm going to work real hard all this time. I've got to have some scheduled fun time with my family because that's how I recharge. Something else that you and I are doing that's very hard, that there's an end in sight, is Fellowship University. We're going to graduate, Fran.
Listen, we are, y'all, and you're going to hear all about it.
Yes, because we have threatened to quit.
It's 3 years.
It's
so
hard.
It's basically college.
It's theology.
It's hard.
It's been hard. We've learned a lot.
But
We've
thank
grown
you,
a lot.
Fellowship Bible Church, for growing us in this way.
And then something that, two things that I'm just kind of looking forward to in the coming year. The Bible recap I have done all the way through several years ago. I have stopped and started and stopped and started and just jumped back in wherever the last 2 years. I really want to be more consistent with the Bible recap moving forward and just move straight through the Bible. I have no goal of it being perfect because that's what derails me.
Right.
If I miss day 37, then I've got to just quit altogether. Well, no,
Right.
that's crazy. Just
Right.
get back in your Bible where you
Right.
left off. I want to, I've committed to with Rachel Mitchell. She's been on the podcast before. There is a program that we're doing together with a group of women that's Christ-centered. There's a lot of prayer. There's a lot of intentionality. But it's to take better care of our bodies. And one of the things that just melted my heart at Disney, I picked up Atlas. I had him on my hip. He's 4 years old. He's getting bigger.
Right.
And he rubbed on my arm and he said, honey, I know why you work out. No, he said, I know why you lift those weights.
Why?
And
Atlas?
I said,
Tell
why?
me.
And he said, so you can pick me up.
Oh.
I almost cried.
Yeah. That is real.
And I
though.
thought, that he sees me because my dumbbells are obnoxiously strewn across the living room. He sees me, as he's leaving for school, working out. And he's equated that with, I want to be strong. I have no desire to be a fitness model. That's never going to happen.
Right.
But I want to be strong enough to
Do
to
certain
stay
things.
active
Yeah.
and to pick that baby up.
Yeah.
So I'm making reasonable commitments to my health. You and I talk about drinking water. I think that'll be a goal till Jesus comes back.
We're going to laugh about that.
Yeah.
I think, too, I'll pause and say this. I think, too, what's so funny about the water thing for me, I said this to Tyler's girlfriend, Emma, yesterday. We had lunch together, and neither one of us are big drinkers. And so she had a sweet tea, I had a water, and both of us just half of it. We drank half of it.
Never need a refill.
Never need a refill. And I said, Emma, I grew up where we didn't drink water. And if we did, it was out of somebody's, hose in their backyard. So this whole concept of lugging around what Angela has,
I tried to take a sip and now I'm choking on it. So.
it's just so foreign. So I'm a wannabe. I don't know that I'll ever arrive, but I probably am the most dehydrated person on the planet.
I do want to say, I'm holding this up if you're watching it on YouTube. This is a swig cup that I bought
is
myself at Hattie's. Every time I bought a gift for another person, I bought me something, and this came from Hattie's, and it's really cute.
Maybe listen, I have so many dang water bottles, y'all. It's not that, because I look at that and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Maybe that's what I need. But the idea of getting it, filling it, actually drinking it,
listen,
refilling it.
The last 3 years, if
I
you
don't
look
want
through
to.
my journals, it's as elementary as, my goal for this month is to drink water. My goal for this month is to not fall asleep with my makeup on and actually use what'd you tell me to get? The retinol and vitamin C.
Vitamin C.
I've started doing that.
at you.
But you've preached it to me for how many years
don't
before
know.
it finally grabbed
Well,
hold in my brain? So they're just add one little new habit that brings value
Yeah.
or brings you joy or makes you feel better about
Yeah.
yourself. But all this whole, all or nothing.
Right.
We've got to mention this, and then I want to hear about Fran. I have done something monumental at 47 years old that I said I would never do.
I don't know.
I drank a cup of coffee.
Oh my gosh, you sure did.
And it was so funny. My husband has
And let me just say
begged me.
this too. For those of you all that are over the age of, if you're over 50, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you're a coffee drinker. Not only did she drink the coffee, she drank it later in the day. And my first thought was, oh, dear Jesus, she's not going to be able to sleep. But you're brand new to it. So you don't have the tolerance. Like I couldn't drink coffee as late as you did. I'd still be up.
My husband poured me a little cup of coffee and put some sugar-free creamer and some Ready Whip in it. There was probably like an inch of coffee and 5 inches of Ready Whip.
And you drank it.
I drank it when I was younger. My family would tease me about burning brownies because I made brownies and I would burn them. And I think I told you it reminded me of like drinking burnt brownie water because I would eat the brownies anyway. And the first one, I was like, just choke it down. You're going to be fine. The second one, it was like, well, this is not terrible. So I'm getting there.
Listen.
Baby steps. And I've also cooked. I want to make more food at home. It's going to be simple. I'm not anybody's Martha Stewart or anything anywhere close. But I do make some really good cornbread.
Yeah.
I made some cornbread and soup last night. That's a start. Okay, Fran, where are you going in the new year?
And let's just say this. Everybody is thinking these same very things. They're like, yep, I want to do that. This is where you can, if you're like me, you can feel overwhelmed and go, oh God, I don't know where to begin, because everybody agrees. Like, yes, I want to do those things differently. Okay, this is what I wrote down. And I'm just going to read it to you. And again, we're going to make a separate video that's going to explain some of this a little bit more. So otherwise this would be a 14-hour podcast and nobody would listen. Okay, so I put it into 3 categories, okay? So the first category is just growth. And so maybe I could say, well, that could be like a word of the year or a concept of the year, is to always being mindful of growing. Because if you're not growing in any capacity, then you're not growing.
And your mindset drives all of this.
Yes. Absolutely. So I wrote down, I want to grow personally, and I'm going to think through, like, what does that even mean? I want to grow, of course, in my spiritual walk. In this ministry, we talk about it every single year. As far as like rambling through everyday life, like what can I do? And I'm not ever going to, challenge Angela in anything that the Lord is not giving her. I understand that and recognize that. So this is for me. I want to grow in areas of the work that I've been entrusted to here at Union. There's areas of growth within my family. There's areas of growth. And growth for me also, I'm thinking like the word change. So there's areas of growth or change financially. There's areas of growth in like just what am I learning? What am I opening up a book to learn? So that's my area of growth. That can seem like a lot, but I'm going to keep that in front of me, and I'm going to calendar this so that I'm reviewing it every month. So I'll put it in my calendar reminder, make sure that on a Sunday night, not during the week while you're trying to work, but Sunday is a beautiful time to just look back as you're looking ahead for the week. Okay, then that was number 1, just growth. Number 2, I just simply want to have my eyes open to something new that the Lord is going to put in front of me. I don't have any idea what that is, but I guarantee you, I know this to be 100% true. He is always up to a new thing, and I think more times than not, we miss it. So new is new. It's not this growth stuff. It's literally a brand new thing. And I have no idea what that's going to be, but the more I think about it and reflect on it, I'm like, this podcast was a new thing. There's new things that we know are happening in 2024 because we've talked about them. But this is something that I don't know yet, that I don't see. So I'm not looking for something big. I'm just want to have my eyes open to something new. The third thing is, this is like, this is not, I don't know that this isn't it, but for a long time we've been talking about, just the fact that I want to plant something and grow something, this whole Farmer Fran thing. So I don't know that that's it, but there's something that I know that's new that I want to do. Like, I'm aware of the new thing. I'm aware of it. I'm choosing it. Not something that the Lord's putting in front of me, but I'm choosing what that is. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be a challenge. I have no idea what it's going to be. I have no earthly idea, but I'm just, putting it before the Lord, and I just want to say, you know how sometimes you're just like, quit talking about it, for crying out loud, and just do it. But it could also fall into some of that growth category up there. So I want to be real careful, and it could be something up there. I don't know, but it was just the whole Fran, quit talking about it or thinking about it and just do it. And I kind of have an idea of what that could possibly be, but I'm not 100% sure. So anyway, all of that can sound overwhelming, but
I think you made it sound fun.
Well,
and attainable.
And that is always like, as a 7 on the Enneagram who loves to do a whole lot of different things. And I love it. I love to have a full schedule. I love to serve and go and do and like all of that. But the key with it is if you're not, monitoring it, looking at it, examining it, considering things, then it just 3 months from now, you have no idea what you've even thought about, talked about. And it just, you're like, oh, well, that was what it was. And so for me, this sounds so simple, but to put it on your calendar, to whatever you've written down, whatever you're choosing to really spend some time in growth in or to make changes in, then put it on your calendar a month from now. January, how many days are in January? 30, 31? I don't even know. Put it on your calendar and look at it and see, okay, this is where I'm doing really well. But I also am like, I'm not a legalistic person. That just irritates the fire out of me. That's why I don't choose one word. And I'm not saying that that's legalistic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I forget my word. I'm like Dory. Remind me what my word is in March.
So anyway, I think a lot of this is just tied into that word discipline, that we want to be more disciplined people, especially as we get older, and especially as the world around us feels so chaotic, and social media makes us think that we're so less than, that because we're not doing all these things. You get to decide at this time of the year what you want to do different. And if you write down one thing on a piece of paper and it is simply to whatever, I don't know, stay on top of your laundry or eat better, whatever, there's not a wrong answer. It's your journey. It's your journey with yourself, and it's your journey with the Lord. But I'm always a big believer in Ephesians 3:20 that he has so much more for us, that we get so caught up in just the day to day, and we need to do the day to day. We've got to show up and do the things day to day, but we leave out this opportunity, these things that he has for us, because we're not doing it. We're not paying attention. We're not growing in our relationship with him, and we're just missing all kinds of things. But again, we're already at 37 minutes long, Angela. So we're going to do a separate video that, again, it's not going to be another 30-minute podcast. It's just we're going to we're going to practically unpack some of this for you all. It's like a bonus episode, Angela.
Woo-woo.
Woohoo. Okay, what else do we want to talk about?
I think you've hit on all of it. As you were saying that, I just thought, I want to be fully alive. I think it's age. I think I've learned a lot of that from you. Like, maximize the moments, the opportunities.
You don't know how much time you've got left on this earth.
No.
What if the Lord somehow said, hey, this is your last year on the earth. What are you doing with it?
Or your last week.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
And you were numbed out on the couch watching dumb Netflix.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah. So,
and there's a time and a place for all of it.
Absolutely.
But it's like I quoted my dear friend Lisa Houston. We want to make a memory, have a story to tell. Just get out there and live, and do it all for the glory of God. He does not want us to have a boring life.
No. We need the mundane moments of the daily, like I've got to get up.
Discipline.
Disciplines. I've got to go to work. However, Ephesians 3:20 says what it says. Angela, what does it say? You say it all the dang time.
It says, God is able to do exceedingly abundantly more than we could even dare to dream or think or hope or pray or imagine or conjure up in our little tiny brains.
Abundantly more. Abundantly more. Not just more.
Abundantly more.
Abundantly more.
Through the power of the Holy Spirit that lives in us.
Sign me up for that.
Right. Let's go.
I'm not afraid of that, and I'll drag anybody along kicking or screaming or saying, yeehaw, let's go, because I just think that this is We think this every year, but I really do believe 2024 can be an extraordinary year in whatever way you want it to be.
I do want to put this out there as we wrap this up.
Okay.
We are so excited anytime we get the opportunity to come lay eyes on our friends and encourage them. We've already got some times on the calendar where we'll be speaking in some local churches to some women that we absolutely adore. If you're listening, if y'all need or have any desire for us to come encourage you in your group, we love that. We have such a shared heart for encouraging women as we run this race and love God and love others and do it well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, everybody, happy 2024. We love y'all so much. Thanks for listening. Y'all have a super fantastic day. We'll see you next time. All right, everybody. Oh, that was so much fun. Okay, don't forget, we have a bonus episode on our YouTube where we talk about all of this stuff that we were discussing in regards to disciplines, ideas, things that we want to grow in 2024. So find us on our YouTube and you can watch that conversation there. And y'all know that we record every single episode on campus at Union University. Come see us. Come for a visit. Let me know that you're coming. I would love to say hello. But if you've already been on campus and you're just waiting to apply, guess what? I have a fee waiver code for you. It's the word TALK. All capital letters, TALK. Plug that in the appropriate spot on the application and you do not have to pay the application fee. Okay. We love you guys. Happy 2024. We'll see you next week.